Hello everybody, this is Carlos from Mami Nurses and welcome to another video. In today's video, I'm going to show you how to grant vSIMs access to your students. Now the learning objective will be to demonstrate how to create a class for your own group of students and to execute the necessary steps to get to the creation of the class and granting your students access ultimately. Some important points to remember regarding vSIM access is that the vSIM code, at least at Centennial College, it is given out by the course coordinator. The course leads do not have this code, so we don't give them out. It is the course coordinator who has them. If this ever changes, we will notify you ASAP. But as of September 2021, it is the course coordinator who will give out these codes. Which brings us to point number 3. Instructors will get a vSIM code. Students do not get the vSIM code directly themselves. So please do not tell students to reach out to the course coordinator for a vSIM code because they do not get a code themselves. And that lands us to point number 5, because your students will be granted access to vSIM by proxy through you, the instructor, after you have created this class. Okay, so let's go ahead and see how we can create this class. First and foremost, you're going to go to the website right here to create an account or to log in. Email address, your password, and then you click login. Once you log in, you will arrive to the main area of the point, that is the company that makes the vSIM. Okay, now in this window here that you can see 2 different versions of vSIM, and the reason why is because I've been granted access to the fundamental and the medical surgical vSIM. Now for semester 3, which this video is intended to, for the semester 3 instructors, all of our vSIM cases are from the medical surgical vSIM. Okay, so most likely you will get access to this one only. If you have taught semester 2, you might have access to fundamentals as well. But for semester 3, we will only be using, or mostly be using, the medical surgical cases. Now from this, you're going to see 2 links about this product, which will tell you more about vSIM. And the other one is vSIM for nursing, this blue link. So I want you to click on that link, and then it will open up that vSIM for you. And to ensure that we are in the correct vSIM, you can check that up here it says the medical surgical vSIM. Okay, all the case scenarios are right here, and we have mapped these cases with the appropriate fictional character name for each case to every week as the assignment, as the required vSIM assignments that the students will need to complete. Okay, so that way we keep consistency in the name of the cases so that the students know specifically which one we're talking about. Now, in order to create a class, you're gonna go to this green button over here. Okay, so you're gonna click on create a class, and then this window should show up. Now, if you have used vSIM before and you have created a class before, you might see classes from previous semester that you might have created. Or if you are brand new, then you should see something similar to my screen where there will be no classes. Okay. Now, in order to proceed to create a class, you're going to go to this link over here that says add a class. So click on it. Once you click on add a class or create a class, you will be asked to enter some information. As you can see, only the first, second, and third have the little asterisk on them, meaning that they are required. So technically, we only need the first 3 things to be able to create our class. So as an example, this is what I put in. So school, Centennial College, that's what you're gonna put in. Program type, you're gonna choose the LPN/LVN option. Remember, this is an American software, so they call them licensed practical nurses instead of registered practical nurses like we do in Canada. And the class name, you can put your name, the group, and the semester. School, time, term, and location, you can ignore those as you don't really need them. Once you have put school, program type, and class name, the first 3, then you click on create a class. Now, after you click on create a class, you will be given this window that says you successfully created a class. You will be provided with a very unique code Okay, I have blocked this because that's the code I'm going to share with my class. And it also gives you instructions to share with your students in how they can register using the code that was just created. Okay, so at this point, you're going to copy and paste this. You're going to email it to your students, okay? And they are going to enroll themselves in the vSIM class that you have created. Therefore, that's how they get access to vSIM through the class that you create, okay? So once you have copied this, email that to your student, you can just click continue. And it will return you back to this screen here. Now, if you remember, before we created a class, there was nothing here. But now that we have created a class, your class should show up here. The class code will be here as a quick access. Enrollments at this point, I have 0. But what you should see is this number here should reflect the number of students that you have in your group. For instance, if you have 4, 6, or 8 students that you emailed the code to, then you should see that number being reflected in this enrollment, which means that those students have added themselves successfully to your class. Okay? Now, you will also see that once you created a class, you have access to this gradebook. This is how you're going to check for the mark that your students have gotten through the simulation. Now, if you click on View Gradebook, okay, you should get a screen similar to this. Now, this one, I'm using the spring semester as an example because since no students have registered for my class for fall just yet, I will have none of this in there. But once your students start registering themselves, and that's how you will check for their marks. Okay. Now, as you can see over here, the gradebook, it shows you your student's name should be here, where I have blocked this one for confidentiality, okay? And you can see that every case scenario actually has a mark. Now, when we require students to get 80% on the simulation case themselves, this is what we mean. Okay, you are going to look at this of every case of vSIM, and you're going to look at this area that says vSIM. We need students to get at least 80% in any of these cases. Again, students can redo the cases as needed until they get at least 80%. Now, this is the simulation part that the student needs to complete. After they complete the simulation part with at least 80% that you will check through vSIM, there's a written report that they are going to submit to eCentennial. There is a appropriate folder for each vSIM case so that they can submit those reflective questions, the critical thinking questions. Okay, so each vSIM assignment will consist of those 2 aspects in them. First one, you're going to check that the actual simulation that the student has done, they get at least 80%, okay? And number 2, it's going to be through the submission of the reflective questions of each case, and that will be done through eCentennial, all right? And that pretty much wraps up this video. So thank you for watching. If you have any questions, please reach out. See you next time. Bye for now.